I've been going through a huge phase where all I want to listen to is Queen. It's most likely fueled by the fact that Bohemian Rhapsody, a biopic of Freddie Mercury and his time with the band, is coming out so soon. But a part of me also knows that they are one of the most iconic, groundbreaking bands of all time. With some of the most recognizable songs ever written, Bohemian Rhapsody, Another One Bites the Dust, Under Pressure, We Will Rock You, Somebody to Love, the list goes on, they clearly earn their popularity. However, as I've been going through this phase, I've been thinking a lot about Freddie Mercury and his life. He was a loud, flamboyant, fearless explosion on stage, and extremely quiet, private, and thoughtful when out of the public eye. Would you believe me if I told you that he didn't like telling people that Somebody to Love was his favorite of the band's songs because he wrote it and he didn't want to sound conceited? From the way he presented himself on stage, I nor anyone else would presume him to be shy or bashful about his music. But as many of his fans would agree, Freddie was one of a kind. He kept his life off stage so private that people almost have to rely solely on his music to hear a part of his story. In fact, less than 24 hours before he died of AIDS in 1991, he finally told the press that he was sick. This has been considered one of his greatest gifts to his fans, simply because he left them with a sense of closure. I just find the idea fascinating that Freddie Mercury, this man who danced like no one was watching, or better yet, danced like everyone was watching, but that only made him shine more, was reportedly a quiet, reserved, private man in real life. It may have just been the implications that he was queer that made him so secretive. Freddie was known to have gotten around with all sorts of people, and his bisexuality is something that is common knowledge today. However, in the 80s and 90s, his promiscuity, if you want to call it that, wasn't any defining feature. He was known for making some of the greatest songs of all time, along with his bandmates Brian May and Roger Taylor. He could control a crowd better than the Police could. He knew he shined, and he loved it. He sang loudly and dressed flamboyantly and danced fearlessly and lived the life most people could only dream of, quite literally because he left so much of it to his fans' imaginations. While we are left in the dark regarding Freddie's personal life, I think he gave us enough personality and flair in just one performance to make up for it. Before concluding this, I want to share my favorite story about Freddie. In 1991, a few months before he passed away, Queen wrote their song, The Show Must Go On. It's about surviving and doing what must be done for the sake of art, no matter what obstacles stand in the way. It most definitely related to Freddie because he was on his last leg due to the virus in his blood, but he was still extremely passionate about his music, as he was until the day he died. In true Freddie Mercury fashion, although he was extremely weak, he downed a drink and belted out the song all in one take. He most likely knew it was the last song he would ever record, which only adds to the sorrow of the situation. He was singing about his passion for performing as one final goodbye. He died 6 weeks after the release of the song, managing to be a legend until the very end. Freddie Mercury will always be an enigma to his fans, but watching one of his live performances can tell even the people unfamiliar with Queen that he was something special, and that's truly the only thing we ever needed to know.